After the outbreak of the Crimean War, Nikolai Pirogov went with a group of doctors and nurses to the conflict zone. Nikolai Ivanovich became chief surgeon of Sevastopol. Famous Russian surgeon Nikolai Pirogov. How did he save the wounded defenders of Sevastopol? On arrival at the peninsula, Pirogov saw a horrifying picture. From Bakhchazari stretched a huge column with the wounded. On wagons lay a few people with amputated limbs. The rain was pouring down and a strong wind was blowing. The wounded soldiers were cold and moaning in pain. The first impressions did not inspire optimism in the surgeon. After becoming acquainted with the conditions of the wounded, the doctor realized his fears were not unfounded. Nikolai Pirogov, the famous Russian surgeon. How did he save the wounded defenders of Sevastopol? Almost half of the unfortunates died not from wounds and injuries, but from the terrible sanitary conditions. The wounded lay on the dirty floor next to the typhoid patients. In the first place, Nikolai Ivanovich had to deal with organizational matters. Management, not medicine, that is what would save more lives, the surgeon argued. Pirogov began to place soldiers according to the severity of wounds. This allowed to reduce the load on the medics, who almost fell from fatigue. He also demanded total disinfection from medical workers. Because before his arrival many doctors operated in dirty robes. The famous Russian surgeon Nikolai Pirogov. How did he save the wounded defenders of Sevastopol? He significantly reduced the number of limb amputations. For the first time in wartime conditions, ether anesthesia and plaster bandages were used. The doctor also drew up clear instructions for nurses. Junior medical personnel were required to look neat. In this way, the surgeon increased staff efficiency. That allowed more lives to be saved. Later, the famous poet Nekrasov claimed that there was not a single soldier in town who would not have blessed Pirogov. What do you know about the luminary of medicine Nikolai Ivanovich Pirogov?